Need help creating a beautiful and cohesive color palette? That's exactly what I'm serving up in today's watercolor tutorial. Hey friends, welcome back. My name is Shayda Campbell, and around here we make art and it's fun, not scary. Today's video is all about color. I'll share my color mixing process and show you how I sit down and practice creating cohesive color palettes. The result will be a sketchbook reference page that you can refer back to anytime you need a little creative color palette inspiration. Really quick supply rundown. I'm working in my Canson XL sketchbook. It has great paper quality for the price point. I have my Shayda Campbell watercolor set and a filbert brush with an extra palette here for mixing. So let's start mixing, and I'll show you how I think about color palettes and how I practice them ahead of time to make my art more successful. So our primary colors are red, blue, and yellow. For an artist, you may also consider the primaries to be magenta, cyan, and yellow. Those are great for mixing. And what I like to do for an interesting color palette, for say a floral piece, is what I would call a modified primary palette. So instead of red, blue, yellow, we're going to do pink, baby blue, and cream, and then maybe add another color like a dark red or burgundy. And I'll show you what that looks like as we come over here to the paper. I've got this beautiful dusty pink, a dark red. I want to darken that actually. And this is just magenta with burnt umber. That's one of my favorite ways to mix a red. And then I have a cream. This is white with a little Naples yellow, maybe a little bit of burnt umber, and a baby blue, white with ultramarine. It's not quite the primaries, but it has that familiarity to it. Let's try another one. So this is not a color wheel video. I will link a video if you would find that helpful. But if you know your color wheel, you know about complementary or contrasting colors, which are just colors that are opposite each other on the wheel. Red and green, yellow and purple, blue and orange. And so here I'm going to use the purple-yellow complementary scheme to create another color palette, or to kind of inspire a color palette. So I want a dark purple. This is ultramarine with magenta and a little bit of white. And this scheme is actually going to include two purples. So there's the same mix, but with lots of white and lots of water. And then instead of a yellow, I'll do kind of a cream or butter yellow. So Naples yellow with lots of white. And then I've got a peachy pink here. So magenta, white with Naples yellow. And I love the way that looks. I also think it could use something dark to ground it. So maybe we try that ultramarine magenta mix, but put a little indigo so that it's like a super dark purple. And then green. I think green would look great with this. So I usually will take sap green and mix in red or brown. Because that red is opposite on the wheel, it's going to sort of deaden the green a little and give it that more natural look. So here's my favorite green blend. Sap green and hooker's green with a little bit of brown or red mixed in. And then here's that same blend with a whole lot of red or brown and some more water. So you can see how natural the color is. Those are my go-to greens, and that is my modified complementary color palette. Okay, what if you don't really want to know the color wheel, or you don't want to think that much about all these colors and you just feel like you need some inspiration? Well, that's totally fine. And I often will just head right to Pinterest or Google, type in color palette, and you'll be hit with so many inspo photos, and you can quickly pick out a color palette that speaks to you or works for your project. This one I really don't think I would have thought of on my own. It's like an icy blue, a dark teal blue, and then really making it pop with some yellows, oranges, reds, and pinks. So there is some sort of complementary scheme going on there, the blue and orange, of course. But again, we're adding in colors, and I'm not very drawn to orange, so I don't think I would have come up with this one on my own. I want a really orange red. This is magenta with a little bit of Naples yellow, a little bit of burnt umber. And then we've got this great pink. This is purple lake with a bit of magenta and white. If you have the Shayda Campbell set, you can make these exact mixes. And then a really great bright yellow, so cadmium yellow, maybe just a hint of white, but love this color palette. And from there, I just thought, I've got all these great, beautiful colors on my palettes now. Let's just play around a little bit. I'm so drawn to this purple lake. It's one of my favorite colors in the Shayda Campbell palette. And remember, you can shop that on Amazon. I'll link it in the description. So I sort of used purple lake and did all these different blends with a little more white or a little less white. I'm calling that my Magnolia palette with the beautiful brown and dark green. I was inspired by my Pinterest palette to kind of keep working with these icy blues, but But here what I've done is just mixed in a little bit of magenta. So anytime you mix magenta into your blues, you're going to head more into the violets or just the periwinkles. And how pretty does that look with a strong magenta, maybe a little bit of cream or peach, and then a really dark violet. I'm not sure what I'm using this color palette for, but I love it, and I'll be able to come back to it again in my sketchbook. This is a great reference page to have, and next time you're starting out a floral painting or a pattern piece, you don't have to begin from scratch. You've got some inspiration and you can say, okay, I might not know what flowers I'm painting, but at least I know what colors I'm doing. I'm going to give these some names just because that's fun. Modified primary, complementary, my magnolia, of course. And this will be in my sketchbook for me to reference in the future. And that's really what I wanted to share with you today. That's how I approach color practice and how I approach creating color palettes and how I will keep them and use them for future projects. And then for this last little bit of the video, I just thought it'd be fun. I created another palette. You can see it up at the top of the sketchbook there. It's sort of a modified primary palette. You've got your blue, yellow, red, and then that's going to guide me into this floral painting. And I don't have to overthink it. And actually what I really wanted to show with this floral as well is that I'm doing the most basic shapes. Everything is very loose and free. I'm doing like little X's, ovals, heart shapes. So nothing's too precious or too overworked. But because I've chosen a color palette that is thoughtful and that I really love, I'm going to create something. I'm more likely to create something that I'm really happy with in the end. And even if the flowers don't turn out perfect, because I was just kind of playing around and not giving this too much thought. I didn't have a map or a sketch laid out ahead of time. So I guess my point is practicing your color ahead of time is a great way to make art that you feel really represents you. And it kind of can hide a lot of issues because people are so drawn to color, and having a cohesive palette or even just a palette that you really love is going to make your work into something that you are really excited about and really proud of. And here's my other tip for great florals. You've got a color palette you love. You've done these super loose, easy shapes. Now you're going to grab a round brush. I'm using a number 6, but you can go even smaller. Go down to a number 2 because you're going to treat that paintbrush like a pen, and you're going to come in and do little dark outlines on the flowers or maybe just some lines. And those tiny details, they add such contrast and nuance. And like I've said, you can make the basic flowers very, very loose, messy shapes. And then simply by putting some dots at center, you've got something really gorgeous. So those are like all my cheats. And I actually think it's not cheating. It's a great way to approach a floral painting. Thank you so much for watching today, my friends. If you love free art videos every week, be sure to subscribe to my channel and sign up for my newsletter. You'll find the link in the description so that you never miss a new video. Oh, and if you would like to see another Shayda tutorial, head over to Patreon. The April exclusive tutorial goes out this weekend, and you can get access to the weekly bonus content for just $3 a month.